Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Hey guys, Professor Prez right back with another episode of Hey Professor, the show where we talk about everything you want to know about allied health, health information management, business management, and all that other good stuff. I told you I really don't have a set script for this yet. I'm kind of just winging it, right? That's me with everything if you actually know me in real life. In any case, this episode is going to be about doing leg work. Now, I don't mean leg day. I don't mean don't skip leg day. I don't mean cardio. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about actually walking, though I do a fair amount of that right now, but that's not what it's about. Doing your legwork with regards to getting a job. Legwork, also known as doing your research, also known as checking and following up. In the old days, you would just send a thank you letter, or basically send a thank you letter to somebody saying thank you, for accepting my application, etc., etc. And in the old days, those thank you letters, that was just a way of putting you over the top as a candidate. And you do that so that you stand out and you really have the best chance as a candidate to really get your foot in the door and get an interview with the hiring manager and or HR team. But here's the thing, people are busy, and that includes HR teams too. So you don't always know when they're going to get around to your application, if they're going to get around to your application, if they're going to think that yours is good enough, if the hiring manager is going to get to it at all. And there are ways, and I've done it. It's not really that you're circumventing the HR process, is that you're kind of jumping ahead to kind of circle back. Now here's what I mean. But first, let me talk about the actual effectiveness of this. Does it actually matter? Does it make a difference if you do your legwork? Yes. And the reason I'm going to say yes is this. 80% of jobs that I've had post-master's degree, so after my graduation, right after I finished school, 80% of the jobs I've had, I did legwork, and I got 80% of those jobs. Any job that I got, I probably did legwork, and that includes quite literally all of my teaching jobs. I've taught and continue to teach at several different places, and all of those jobs I've got doing legwork. It didn't just happen. It didn't just come to me. So what I would do is, this is my standard process, right? Let me give you guys the breakdown. If I see a job online that I like, what I would first do is I would apply for that job. And you guys are gonna laugh, right? I have kept for literally over a decade a list or a log of every job that I've ever applied for, right? Like I keep the job, and the thing about applications, most people don't know, right? Literally, people be like, oh, why don't you apply for a job if you don't have one? A job application can literally take anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour and a half. Like, I wish it were anything other than true, but it's the truth. It can take really, really long. So doing multiple in a day is like a job itself, right? So let's say you're applying. Like I said, I got my log, so anytime that you go in, you have to create a username, you have to create a password, because every place has a different system. Once I did the username and the password, once I finished the application, I would keep any kind of confirmation or job number. I'd write that down. I would also write the day that I applied to the job. That way I know how long it's been since I applied, or if I should expect any kind of follow-up, right? From there, what you do is you research the organization, you look and you see about the individuals that are in charge, right? Now, typically for me, obviously as a professor, I would look at a university or a college. The first thing I do is I go to a program director. I want to see who the program director is, right? Is that person's phone number available? Is that person's email available? If those things are available to me, then what I do is I send out an email, and I call that with the subject matter point of contact. And my email always goes something like this. Hello, my name is Javon M.H. Presbury. I'm reaching out in hopes of establishing a point of contact with regards to the position I saw online for professor of so-and-so, right? Now I'll do a brief overview of my experience and my credentials. I'll say something to the effect of, I have my MHA, RHIA, CDIP, CCS, etc. I currently teach at the following institutions. I name the institutions. I also have professional experience as a director of health information at et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll say, I have attached both my resume and cover letter for your consideration. I applied to the job posted the other day, job posting this, confirmation this. I hope to hear from you in the near future. Now, I'd be lying if I said for every email that I've sent that I've gotten a response and therefore a job. That's not the truth at all. That is actually pretty far from the truth. But I will say that I have a very high success rate. It's just an email. So at the end of the day, the worst thing they can do is just ignore you. Or sometimes what you're going to find is you might get bounced back. You might get kicked back from a system. Let's say if this organization has a firewall in place to keep those emails from coming in, it's going to kick you back. And unfortunately, there really isn't much that you can do about that. But with that said, lots of times I do get a positive response. They'll say, "Hi, Javon, please reach out to so-and-so to schedule an interview," and they'll give me the name of a secretary who works with them or under them to really see what their calendar looks like so I can get on that board and have a conversation with them about the position that I saw. Like I said, a lot of times you're basically jumping ahead because HR may not like your resume. HR may not see that as worthwhile, but you're reaching out directly to the person in charge, and then you're basically circling back. You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of circumventing, you're jumping ahead to the person that's actually the person you'd be working under or working for. You're kind of impressing them, and then they're going to put you back in the line, yes, but they're putting you back in the HR line, and it works. It really works. So I really encourage you guys to do that. You want to make sure that you know who you should reach out to, because every organization is different. Reach out to things like program directors, deans. Obviously, if you're not talking about a college, let's say you're talking about a hospital, find out who the person is. If it's the HIM director, maybe if you're getting an entry-level job, reach out to that person. Find out what their email looks like. I've even gone so far as to when you go to a college, they have those little automated things at the bottom say "need help," and I'll type in there, and then it'll connect me to a real person. And if I can't find the information, I'll literally ask them and say, "Yo, who's the program director? Who's in charge? Who's the associate dean? Who's the HIM director? Who's the revenue cycle manager? Who's the vice president of revenue cycle and reimbursement?" And I would say a good 8 out of 10 times, you're going to have a chance that you're going to get that information. So it's really good to do follow-up, to do legwork. It really gets you in the door. It puts you in the forefront, if possible, of the whole HR process, assuming the other candidates just don't blow you out the water. But it really puts you in the forefront, and it makes you look diligent, and it says, "I want this job, and I want this position." And I've done it, and I want to tell you the truth. It's quite literally how I've gotten every teaching job that I have, and it's good money. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I hadn't have done it, I may not have ever gotten a call back. So always make sure that I do. So again, guys, that's Professor Presbury, just giving you guys a little bit of a quick video with regards to doing legwork. I really think it's important. So don't just apply it, like I said, to teaching. It can go to anything. Do your research, find out who it is, and contact them on your own. HR may not contact you. Why leave it up to chance? All right, guys, Professor Presbury, have a good one. Bye-bye. Intelligence is not enough. Intelligence plus character. That is the true goal of education.